All right, I've got your plan here in X15. I just looked at your PDF that you sent, and I guess what I was expecting is that you were replicating a plan. You know, somebody had given you a plan, and you were getting it into Chief or something, and so you would have elevations that somebody else had drawn. And so I don't they didn't help any. So I'm going to change the lighting here a little bit. Use generic sun follows camera. Okay. So it'd be real easy just to connect up these roof planes. I've done that before. I sent you an image of that this morning. But I'm going to try to fix a couple of things. I'm not going to try to make this roof correct, in my opinion anyway. I'm just going to try to show you how I would go about fixing some things. You've got this really big overhang right here, and you've got another one over here, and you've got this really big overhang over here. And so I'm going to try to mostly fix that. And then we'll join up the roof. I was just fiddling around. This is I sent you a video showing another version of this, but I was just fooling around with this. And to me, this it makes me kind of dizzy looking at that, but my preference is something like this. I would do this gable over here and this stuff differently. It's tough when you have such a high ceiling, and these windows are only, I think they're 80 inches to the top. Yeah. I think that's a 10-foot ceiling in there. So you're going to have a huge amount of room above these windows inside. It's not gonna, might not look as good as it could. And also it makes a big difference on how the outside of the house looks. I dropped this garage, the garage height down, so trying to make it less prominent. But anyway, let's go back over here. I'm gonna turn the grids off. I'm gonna turn the display of the dimensions off. Select a roof plane. We don't need to see gutters, labels, or overhang area. So that's a lot cleaner to work with. I'm going to change these back to a dashed line just so they're a little easier to find. And I'm going to select a wall, and I'm going to turn on layers. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to see where the main layer is. Because there's roof planes, like this roof plane right here, the baseline's wrong. The baseline is typically drawn over the outside of the main layer. I'm going to move it back, and then I'm going to point to point the baseline right there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to select that roof plane. I'm going to point to point. That to there. This is my edit toolbar up here. this thing. Normally it's docked down at the bottom. Normally it's docked down at the bottom of the screen. I like it up here at the top. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here close to a wall someplace, right there. I'm going to make room polyline. While that's selected, I'm going to open it. I'm going to put it on a new layer. I don't know why my system's so slow today. I'm just going to copy. I'm going to change the color to something we can see. I'm going to lock it. Well, not yet. And then I'm going to hold C down. I'm going to grab a corner like this. And I'm going to see if it'll snap right there. So let's see what I did. Let's do an end to end from here over to here. And that's not right. But that is. So I'm going to undo a couple of times. I'm going to put a point right in that corner. Sometimes points are easier to snap to. Now here's the problem. Here's a problem. That polyline didn't create where it should have. Over there and down there. Okay, so I'm going to start again. I'm just going to pick a corner. I'm going to hold C. I'm going to drag this back to the main layer. And that looks okay. I'm going to come back up here. Hold C. Pull this out. It's Alright, that's correct. I probably need to shut down Chief and restart. That's correct. That's correct. So it's that roof plane that's off. Okay, that gives me an overhang. Is the reason I was doing that. So that's a consistent overhang all the way around the house. The other thing I notice is that you don't have a room defined out here. You don't have invisible walls showing, and these are marked no room definition. Maybe that was on purpose. But if you have a room out here, then you get a slab and whatever. Maybe a porch. I also noticed, and this is I'm going off on a tangent here, but you have room type unspecified, and then you called it primary, and this really should be bedroom. You can call it primary, but room types have things associated with them. Come up here to defaults, room types. You can set things, you can set structure things, you can set moldings, you can set materials. You know, you can, if you want carpet or something in your bedrooms but not anywhere else, you can set that in here. So that's just something that's good to take advantage of. Alright, so this roof plane, it looks like this is the baseline to that roof plane, and it's not in the right spot. So I'm just gonna select that roof plane and delete it. And then when we draw a roof plane back in its spot, you can see that it's going to be correct. And this is for this roof plane, and it looks like I can probably see, now that this thing's fixed, I'm going to lock it so it doesn't get selected. So now I'm going to point to point the baseline right over to here. Same thing with this roof plane. We'll move that baseline right there. And you can see the overhang is incorrect, so I can just take this, snap it out right there. This one needs to change. This roof plane, do the same thing. No, I can't do that because it's correct over here. This roof plane. And I'm going to leave it alone for right now. So this one's 6. And we'll make this one 6. Lock the fascia top height. Make it 6. Let's look in 3D. Now let's see what happens when we connect some of these things together. You'll see when I drew this roof plane that I got a gutter on it. And I don't need to see gutters. I don't need to see trim. Don't need to see labels. Don't need to see baselines. Alright, I'm going to break this right over here, break it here, break it here, drag this up. Doesn't have to be precise. And then connect it. And connect it. And then let's see if I can pull this up to right there. One of the problems with these actually it needs to go right there. One of the problems with these roof planes and doing all this manual work, right now I need the fascia top height for this, and I cannot get it because this edge over here is lower. I also noticed that there's a bunch of extra breaks in here. There's a break here, and I don't want those. So there's this tool up here. Again, this is the edit toolbar, and normally it's at the bottom. So I can click Simplify Polyline, and that should remove those extra breaks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to drag it over here so it's the same. Open this up. Get my fascia top height. I'm going to Control Z to put the roof back. Then I can select this roof plane, open it up, lock the pitch, paste in the fascia top height, say OK, and then we'll see if we can join those two together. And now you can see they match up almost out there. I guess it's close enough. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to open this up, lock the pitch, put in a new fascia top height, and then we should be able to join that to that. And then this, lock the pitch. Now it looks like this, the fascia size is different. So it's always good when you're doing manual roofs. I have a video on this. When you're doing manual roofs, it helps to come in here and set all this stuff. And then when you draw a manual roof plane, it's the way you want it. So we've got a 10-inch fascia. Let's see if this will connect up to here. I got pretty close. We could take this roof plane and break it right in here someplace. Pull this over. Over here and plan. Pull it up against this wall. You can take these base lines, they're just CAD lines, and move them out of the way, make them look a little better. They don't need to be that size. As you can see, I usually work in camera, not in plan on these roofs. Alright, so this should connect there. Let's pull that back a little bit and see where it needs to go. You can see it's real obvious here, there's no line here. So it's real obvious that these aren't joined up correctly. Now again, this right here doesn't line up, and I don't have any idea if it should or what's going on. The simple thing to do is just to raise it up. But first, let's make it like that. I don't see the baseline except maybe this. I'm gonna I think this is a pitch of 6. So I'm gonna just delete this. Yep, that was it. Here, I'm going to take this baseline and get it over here. I think your gable overhangs are less. So I'm just going to open this and see if your default pitch is set. Then when you draw a new roof plane, it'll come in as 6. I'm going to lock this and then see if that's still correct there. So I'll take this, join it over here, pick this, join it up here. You can use edit all roof planes. To change things all at once. Let's see if this will join to here. And then we'll try this again. Sometimes it helps to move things so they're not overlapping. Alright, let's fix this real quick. Put a break in there and here. Do the same thing over here. Here I'm going to break this. Again, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be accurate. I really didn't have to put that at an angle, it should have joined by itself. And then I can take this and drag it back here. It looks like it needs to go all the way back under here. Okay, I'm gonna click this edge right here, and then there's this tool in the edit toolbar, intersect join two lines. I've got that the hotkey set for 1, and then I'm gonna click over here, and that got rid of that little oddball triangle piece there. And then I can take this and join it up over here. Go back over to plan. Take that and put a break right there. Pull that back. Put another break. Make this square. And drag this back to this wall. That should connect to that. And this should connect to that. Okay, I'm not really understanding this, but I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to select this roof plane, and I'm going to make it coplanar with this one. So that's what this tool does. And now they're the same, on the same plane. I can select them both, and then I can union them together and make a single roof plane. And now those should clean up. Now you can see that there's hardly any overhang right here. And I'm guessing that that's not correct. So back over here and plan. I'm going to take this, I'm going to snap it to that line I did, and drag this over here somewhere. All right, I'm gonna select this edge right here. I use that intersect join two lines tool, and I'm gonna click down here, and that cleans all that up. And it looks like there's no overhang on this outside. Okay, again, here's some baselines that are way off. I'm assuming that this baseline is for this roof plane. And I've showed you a couple times that you can move things around. You can point to point, or however you like, to move this baseline back over the roof where it belongs, and then change the roof plane, change the fascia top height to what it needs to be, and do all that other stuff. But instead of doing all that, I'm just going to connect this stuff up and have a look. Let's come down here. This baseline looks like it's probably in the right spot, so I'm just going to take this, pull it out here, open it up, get the fascia top height, now this roof plane is not one that we can change. Well, we could, but I'm not going to. So what I am going to do is I'm going to get the fascia top height of this 102 1/4, and I'm going to see if I can change both these roof planes together. Probably not. Get rid of these dimensions. Nope. I forgot what it was supposed to be, so I opened that. So I'm going to lock the pitch. 102 1/4. Lock the pitch. Looks like the baseline's good on that one too. You can see how that lined up down there. This one, yeah, this one I need to move it over. And even though they look like they're connected, it's always good to join them just to make sure. It's looking plan. I wanted to look at this roof plane here. Now here's the oddball one, and this can be fixed. I did it earlier. So I'm gonna start by putting a brake, and putting a brake, putting a brake. Pull this up. Let's draw some roof planes. You can see how having that CAD line out there makes doing things like this pretty easy. I'm going to connect that, and let's have a look. Okay. I'm just going to leave that like it is. I keep forgetting to set that fascia size. That's an attic wall. I'm going to delete. I've noticed that these attic walls are not building over this wall here. So I'm going to go up to the attic level. And I'm going to delete current floor. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me go over here. Alright, it looks like you have a second floor. I hope this is not anything I did. I'm going to delete current floor. Say OK. And then now you have an attic and a first floor. And you'll notice those lines cleared up. So they're all where they should be now. Alright, so now I'm going to take this roof plane, this edge, and drag it down here. And then of course we can do what we've done before, put a break, not there, Control Z, put a break in this roof plane. Okay, looks like this back corner needs a little work. I think that's too much to... .138 and 1/8. Alright, back here, select this. I'm going to drag this to make it match that. Open it. Lock the pitch. 138 and 1/8. And then I'll drag that back there. Join those two. That looks like that cleaned that up. And we probably need to change all the edges. This is why auto roofs are so nice, because you don't have to go through all this. Let's see, we need a little break right there. Okay, I'm approaching 45 minutes. Of course, I'm talking while I'm doing all this, and I'm not at all sure what it's supposed to be. But that looks pretty good. Again, it's real easy to see in this view. You can see that these aren't joined correctly. Now, even if this isn't correct, this should give you a pretty good start. On how to clean all this up. All your overhangs are good. you'll probably of course this needs to be same thing right here. Break the roof plane and do it just like I did here, or because those should be identical, I can delete that one, select that one, reflect about the ridge. This happens, this you know, none of the other roof planes have this little end piece here. This wall's not filling in. I'm going to edit, reset to defaults, all floors, wall top heights and wall bottom heights. You can see that fixed that up there, and it also changed this down here. It looks like you probably drug this wall down so that this brick goes all the way to the ground, and that's not the way you do that. You would change your foundation wall to match up with the brick above. And of course, this, now that this is a room, take the ceiling out and we'll make that wall invisible. And there's your timbers. Alright, I'm going to do edit all roof planes. Options, lock Steve, default to overhang. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Let's go take a quick standard view. If you set your walls, since you've got multiple materials here, it's less easy to do, but if you'll set your default wall, for instance, to this white material, then when the program generates new walls, they'll be the default. I'm guessing that if you're using trusses, you're probably going to want to raise the roof, you want some kind of heel. So you'd want to put that value right there. And again, if you set this to your most used pitch and come over here to structure and change this stuff down here, like make your fascias 10 inches. Then when you draw a roof plane, that's what you're going to get. You won't have to manually change everything. It's a lot quicker.